Supreme Court. All right, the Supreme Court now has spoken, and this is what we know. They are preserving women's access to the abortion drug mifepristone. They have now rejected court-imposed restrictions while the legal case continues. So we are currently trying to get our legal analysts on the line to break this all down. We have been talking to them throughout the course of the past week. Remember, 2 weeks ago, that Texas judge, that federal judge, Judge Kaczmarek there in the Fifth Circuit, ruled that the FDA essentially should never have approved mifepristone in the first place 23 years ago. Now, we're almost coming up on the one-year anniversary since the Supreme Court overturned the Roe decision that set in stone, codified really in the Constitution, a woman's right to an abortion. That was in place for 50 years. And then when Roe was overturned, it was left to the states to determine how they would handle abortion within their borders. Ever since then, mifepristone and misoprostol, it's a two-drug regimen, has been available. Now, a majority of women seeking an abortion, they opt in and choose the medication abortion regimen because of the overturning of Roe that made it in some states outright illegal or put very onerous restrictions for some women seeking an abortion in many, especially conservative-led states there. That has been a push throughout the last year. So this is what we know right now. It's about 6:45 there in Washington, D.C. You're taking a live now look at the outside of the U.S. Supreme Court. We just got the decision right now. The Supreme Court has decided to preserve women's access to the abortion drug mifepristone and rejected the court-imposed restrictions while the legal case continues. So remember, the legal case on the merits has to still play out, so it could even reach the Supreme Court yet again. This was not on the merits of the ruling on whether or not the FDA should have approved the drug mifepristone way back when in the year 2000. It was only about whether to keep the stay of the lower court ruling in place that would ensure access to mifepristone still while the case works its way through the courts yet again. The Supreme Court did do that. They are deciding that. And so we're going to be speaking with some of our legal experts here momentarily. We're working on getting more information about what this means for the abortion landscape nationwide. But it was 2 weeks ago, remember, that Texas judge ruled this about the FDA's approval process of the mifepristone drug. So if you're just joining us here, 6:45 on the East Coast, 3:45 on the West Coast, the Supreme Court has now stayed Judge Kaczmarek's mifepristone ruling in full pending appeal. This means there will be no change in the access to or availability of the medication abortion, or excuse me, the medication abortion regimen rather, anytime soon. So it'll be interesting to see which justices came down on this and were opposed to this. We're kind of still waiting on a breakdown of where the justices came down on this, but we'll bring that to you once I have that information.